in game a little bit in my current setup, and basically, like, you should be good, right? Well, regardless of what weapons you use, right? Let me just talk about the ability. I want you to understand a few things, right? Um, I mean, you can read all of the descriptions, but I'm going to put some things in perspective, and that way you can make your setup how you want. I'm going to just talk your gameplay, give you an advantage in a certain way because it's a skill. You learn this skill, and you have an advantage when you're playing the game. But just to let you know, there's no bullet multipliers here. It doesn't make your weapon actually stronger. It just gives you a skill. Gunner. Gunner is going to do some things like a good skill. It makes you heal up faster. It makes you survive longer. But just like the other two that I just mentioned, there is no bullet multiplier. I want you to understand this. So, Daredevil, again, it gives you a skill to fly around, and thick skin is pretty cool because you take less damage with melee attacks and all of that stuff. But again, you don't have any bullet multipliers. It doesn't make your gun any stronger at all. This one doesn't, this one doesn't, this one doesn't, and this one doesn't. None of these do. Moving on, Tactician. I love Tactician. It's one of my favorite abilities, right? It makes it so you have more equipment. You can throw the equipment further. You can charge up everything faster. The piana, killing a zombie is like cracking into a piana where a Molotov will just pop out of it or a grenade will pop out of it. It's pretty cool. I like to see it done. But there's no bullet multiplier here at all. No, at all. Take a good look. This makes it so you can shoot your weapon faster. It doesn't make it stronger, but it makes it actually faster. As you're killing enemies, one thing that I really like is you get some of your armor back. As you're killing into enemies, you have immunity to fall damage. As a matter of fact, a lot of times when you fall down on the crowd, you actually create an explosion. But, again, it doesn't actually make your gun stronger. None of these do. The only ones that actually make your gun stronger is this last three right here. Think of them as like damage multipliers. Look at it like that, just for the sake of this video. Bulldozer. It replaces your armor every time you have it, and it does other things like, give you a little bit more boost here, and as you're reviving a teammate, you temporarily reduce damage and all of that stuff. You're immune to explosions, and tackle is kind of like flopper. You can flop down and you can dive and create the explosion. It's basically like flopper. Now, there are two multipliers on this one. This is the first one that we came across that has a multiplier. At point blank, you're going to deal more damage with a weapon. One thing that I want to point out is you don't have to continuously get kills. It's just whatever you're shooting at, it multiplies it times 2. So having point blank shots does lie. Eagle Eye has the most multipliers out of all of them. And that's why a lot of people use this. Eagle Eye is a very good ability. It's a good multiplier. But one thing that I want you to understand is you have to use it correctly or it's not going to work how you want. So looking at the descriptions is good. But let me just tell you how it is with my own words, right? It does more critical damage, right? So when you're shooting an enemy, right, with this ability, if you're just shooting them in the chest, in the arm, in the legs, you're just going to do the same normal damage. Now, when you start, you can tell if it's a critical hit versus a regular hit. You'll see the white markers, as in your points is white, versus your hit markers is going to be yellow. That's how you could... That's how you could tell the difference. Sorry, I had to sneeze. So basically, anytime you have yellow hit markers, you are doing critical damage. Only the yellow markers will say, okay, you're doing critical damage. We're going to add to that. So anytime you're shooting an enemy and majority of your shots is not critical, this does nothing for you. Now, moving on. When you are this big hit, one thing that you got to understand is I want you to like, oh yeah, by the way, I didn't say this at the beginning, but to me, like, one thing that you got to understand is this big hits. Basically what that means, in case anybody didn't know, is your very first bullet, when the enemy is at complete full health, the first hit that you have on them is going to deal more damage when it's a critical hit. So even if you shoot him in the chest, so that means he's no longer at full health anymore. Any bullet after that is going to do normal damage. It's going to do more critical damage because of this. But as far as the big hit goes, your very first hit, if it's a critical hit, you're going to do a lot more damage. Any bullet after that is not going to work. So this is more suited for a sniper rifle or a marksman or something that does a lot of damage with the very first bullet. And again, you got to make sure that very first bullet is a critical hit, or this is irrelevant. So any weapon that does a lot of damage and the very first bullet is a critical hit, this is when you take advantage of big hit. And every bullet after that, make sure it's a critical hit, or this is irrelevant too. Moving on. When you're low on ammo, you are not going to take advantage of this. This is when you're about to be done with ammo and you're very low on ammo, you're going to start to deal more damage. So you're going to have a multiplier here too. Now, this multiplier is very good if you have an ammo that's a weapon that's about to run out of ammo constantly. But if you have an assault rifle or submachine gun, or like especially a LMG, like one of the best ones in the game is the Hyper Surge, you have like 800 rounds, even if you cut some of it down because of having a big magazine on it. But without that, you're gonna have like over like 1,000 rounds, right? So the chances of you taking advantage of this is very slim if you're using an assault rifle. But then again, if you have the full magazine on an assault rifle, a lot of them have only 300 or 400 bullets. So there's more of a chance that you might be running out of ammo. So when you're about to run out of ammo while you're still shooting this, you will take advantage of this multiplier. So there's a very good chance that you're going to always use this multiplier if you have an assault rifle with a full magazine, but it's not that big, like 300 or 400 rounds. By the time you get to your last 50 or 60 rounds, they're going to all take advantage of this. Now, this Rampage is pretty good because this Rampage takes advantage of every time you're doing multiple kills, the Rampage activates and you start like doing more damage. But remember, it's when you're doing multiple kills, not trying to kill one enemy, just one enemy. So if you are like surrounded by a bunch of enemies and you're on like a streak of killing a bunch of enemies, then this would activate. You'll see the Rampage activate right away. But anytime you're trying to take down the T-Rex, as in you're trying to kill one enemy versus multiple enemies, the Rampage won't activate because you're not trying to kill multiple enemies in this regard. You're only trying to take down that one enemy. So basically, if you're trying to attack the T-Rex and you're not shooting them with critical kills, the first shot, you don't hit them with a critical kill, and you are not low on ammo, you have plenty of ammo in your reserve, then none of these you're gonna take advantage of none of these. And if it's not a rapid kill, you're just trying to kill one T-Rex, that's not gonna help either. So every single one of these will not help you with the T-Rex at all if you utilize it in the way I just mentioned. The only two things that the only thing that you will utilize as far as an elite goes is you'll utilize aim down sight. Your aim down sight will be way better. That is something that I will tell you. Your aim down sight, it will be way better. And you won't even take advantage of this with like a T-Rex or an elite because it it shocks them when you break the armor, but it doesn't deal with elites. I think that's with regular, normal enemies. So when you comes to an elite, none of these is gonna make a difference at all, right? So I just wanted to point that out. Now let me go to the last one. The last one right here is Warband. Warband didn't come out when the game released, but it's here now. So one thing that I know about Warband is there's a lot of things here for crowd control.